In the quiet dawn of a shadowed city, we often wander between dreams and waking life, watching our brightest stars dim before us. Too many chase the illusion of someday, trapped in self-doubt and procrastination, blaming external forces while ignoring their own untapped power. We fail not from lack of talent, but from quitting too soon, letting distractions erode our potential and settling for mediocrity. This cycle breeds frustration as we deceive ourselves and miss the present moment's true strength. But today marks the end of that endless waiting. Today, we stop making excuses for our unfulfilled dreams. Today, we cease the endless postponement of our greatness. The world doesn't need another person who almost made it, who almost pursued their passion, who almost became the person they were meant to be. The world needs you to step into your power now, to embrace the magnificent potential that lies dormant within your soul, to stop playing small when you were born to play big. Imagine yourself as the architect of your life, crafting a grand temple from a clear blueprint that guides every choice toward purpose and fulfillment. This is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. This is the fundamental truth of human existence. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are the creator, the designer, the master builder of your own destiny. First, declare your identity now. Become the person you aspire to be by aligning thoughts, words, and actions with that core self. Like a runner who claims the title before the race ends, your daily choices vote for this new you, building unshakable integrity. This is not about pretending to be someone you're not. This is about recognizing who you truly are beneath the layers of doubt and fear. The successful entrepreneur doesn't wait for the first million to call themselves successful. They embody success in their daily habits, their mindset, their approach to challenges. The artist doesn't wait for recognition to call themselves an artist. They create daily. They think like an artist. They live as an artist. The leader doesn't wait for followers to become a leader. They lead themselves first. They make decisions from a place of leadership. They serve others from day one. Second, commit to the daily process. Embrace steady repetition over fleeting glory, knowing that consistent 1% improvements carve lasting change like a river-shaped stone. Show up every day, even when motivation fades, to forge habits that prove your dedication and earn self-respect. The world is obsessed with overnight success stories, but every overnight success is built on years of unseen preparation. The Olympic athlete didn't become great in the moment they won gold. They became great in the thousands of hours of training when nobody was watching. The best-selling author didn't become a writer when their book hit the charts. They became a writer in the quiet moments of daily practice, writing when inspiration was absent, crafting their skill one sentence at a time. The master musician didn't achieve mastery on stage. They achieved mastery in countless hours of practice, playing scales when their fingers hurt, continuing when progress seemed impossible. This is the secret that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Dreamers wait for the perfect moment. Achievers create progress in imperfect moments. Third, anchor your life in core values. Let principles like courage and kindness guide you, not moods or emotions, maintaining peace amid chaos. These values act as your compass, ensuring authentic actions that bring clarity and meaning to every decision. When external storms rage around you, when criticism comes from all directions, when doubt creeps into your mind like shadows at twilight, your values remain your North Star. They don't shift with popular opinion. They don't change based on convenience. They don't weaken when tested by adversity. A person anchored in values lives with unshakable inner peace, knowing that regardless of external circumstances, they can choose to act in alignment with who they truly are. When you value integrity, you speak truth even when it's difficult. When you value compassion, you show kindness even to those who have wronged you. When you value courage, you take action even when fear whispers in your ear. When you value growth, you see failure as education rather than defeat. When you value service, you ask not what you can get, but what you can give. When you value excellence, you do your best work even when no one is watching. We will wait no longer. We break free from fear's chains, embracing our potential and turning visions into reality through bold action. We will wait no longer. We rise in silence, learning from failures and building a legacy of hope and justice that echoes forever. We will wait no longer. These are not just words. This is a declaration of war against mediocrity. This is a battle cry against the forces that would keep you small. This is your moment of awakening to the truth of your unlimited potential. The time for excuses has ended. The season of someday has passed. The era of almost has concluded. You stand at the threshold of transformation, holding in your hands the keys to the life you've always imagined. The question is not whether you're capable. You were born capable. The question is not whether you're worthy. You were born worthy. The question is whether you will choose to step into that truth today. Start today by commanding your morning. Before the world intrudes, spend 5 to 10 minutes setting intentions, steering your day with purpose and clarity. This is not about adding another task to your busy schedule. This is about reclaiming control over your life's direction. The way you begin your day determines the trajectory of your entire day. The way you begin your week determines the momentum of your entire week. The way you begin your month determines the progress of your entire month. The way you begin your year determines the transformation of your entire year. Most people surrender their power the moment they wake up, immediately reaching for their phone, allowing the world's agenda to hijack their attention, reacting to external demands before connecting with their internal wisdom. But you are not most people. You understand that true power comes from leading yourself first. In those quiet morning moments when the world is still asleep, when distractions haven't yet invaded your mental space, you have the opportunity to connect with your deepest self. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to be today. What values will guide your decisions? What actions will move you closer to your vision? What energy do you want to bring to every interaction? This is not idle dreaming. This is strategic planning for your soul. Declare your evolving identity daily. Shift from trying to be healthier to affirming, I am someone who values health, letting language shape beliefs and drive consistent actions. The words you speak to yourself have incredible power. They are not just sounds vibrating in the air. They are programming instructions for your subconscious mind. When you say, I am trying to be healthier, you're programming yourself for struggle and uncertainty. When you say, I am someone who values health, you're programming yourself for alignment and natural action. The person who values health doesn't have to force themselves to exercise. Exercise becomes a natural expression of their identity. The person who values health doesn't struggle with food choices. Nourishing their body becomes an act of self-respect. The person who values health doesn't see rest as laziness. Rest becomes an essential part of their wellness practice. Your identity shapes your actions far more powerfully than willpower ever could. Willpower is finite. Identity is infinite. Change your identity, and your actions will follow naturally. Change your identity, and discipline becomes effortless. Change your identity, and consistency becomes inevitable. Keep small promises to yourself. Review each night if you followed through on simple commitments, like brief exercise or focused reading, to build trust and character, brick by brick. Self-trust is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, you cannot believe in your ability to reach any meaningful goal. But self-trust is not built through grand gestures or dramatic declarations. Self-trust is built through small, consistent actions that prove to yourself that your word means something. When you promise yourself 10 minutes of exercise and follow through, you're making a deposit in your self-trust account. When you commit to reading one page and keep that commitment, you're proving it to yourself that you can be relied upon. When you decide to avoid mindless scrolling for 1 hour and succeed, you're demonstrating your power over impulse and distraction. These may seem like small victories, but small victories compound into unshakable confidence. Each kept promise is evidence that you are becoming the person you say you want to be. Each kept promise is proof that your dreams are not just fantasies, but inevitable outcomes. Each kept promise is a building block in the cathedral of your character. Base decisions on core values, define principles such as growth and compassion, using them as anchors to navigate emotions and focus energy on what truly matters. In a world of infinite distractions and endless options, values become your filtering system. When an opportunity arises, you don't need to agonize over the decision. You simply ask whether it aligns with your values. When conflict arises, you don't need to be torn between competing interests. You simply choose the path that honors your principles. When pressure mounts to compromise your standards, you don't need to debate internally. You simply remember who you are and what you stand for. This clarity eliminates the exhaustion that comes from constantly making decisions without a framework. This clarity eliminates the regret that comes from acting against your true nature. This clarity eliminates the confusion that comes from living without direction. Reflect honestly each evening. Note successes, shortcomings, and adjustments for tomorrow, turning reflection into a tool for tangible 1% growth and conscious design. Most people sleepwalk through their days, never pausing to examine their choices, never learning from their mistakes, never celebrating their progress. But conscious reflection transforms experience into wisdom. Conscious reflection transforms mistakes into education. Conscious reflection transforms ordinary days into stepping stones toward extraordinary outcomes. This is not about harsh self-judgment or perfectionist critique. This is about honest assessment and continuous improvement. What went well today? Celebrate it. Acknowledge your progress. Build confidence in your abilities. What could have gone better? Learn from it. Extract the lesson. Make a specific plan for improvement. What will you do differently tomorrow? Commit to it. Make it specific. Make it actionable. This simple practice ensures that you're not just living your days, but designing your life. This simple practice ensures that you're not just experiencing your journey, but consciously creating your destination. Friends, in this shadowed dawn, we often lose ourselves between dreams and reality, seeing our potential fade like distant stars. Many pursue the myth of someday, imprisoned by I am not ready or I am not enough. Choosing familiar comfort over bold steps, we stumble not from insufficient ability, but from abandoning the journey too early, chasing quick wins while neglecting quiet growth. Blaming circumstances or criticizing ourselves offers false control, deepening frustration and blocking true progress. But what if this moment of recognition is actually your greatest gift? What if this awareness of your patterns is the first sign of your awakening? What if the very dissatisfaction you feel is your soul calling you to greatness? The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by trying harder to be a better caterpillar. The caterpillar becomes a butterfly by surrendering to complete transformation. You are not here to improve the old version of yourself. You're here to become someone entirely new. Picture yourself as the master builder of your existence, holding a vivid blueprint that illuminates your path to a life of infinite possibility. This blueprint is not drawn on paper. It is written in the depths of your soul. It was placed there before you took your first breath. It has been waiting patiently for you to remember its presence. Every great achievement began as someone's vivid vision. Every breakthrough started as someone's impossible dream. Every transformation commenced as someone's unwavering belief in what could be. The Wright brothers saw humans flying when everyone else saw only impossibility. Martin Luther King Jr. saw equality when everyone else saw only division. Steve Jobs saw personal computers when everyone else saw only complexity. Your vision may not change the world, but it will certainly change your world. And when you change your world, you give others permission to change theirs. First, boldly declare your identity. Embody the successful person now, ensuring every thought and deed aligns with this chosen self. As a marathoner identifies as a runner before crossing the finish line, your affirmations command actions that transform belief into reality. This is not positive thinking. This is identity transformation. Positive thinking says, I hope good things will happen. Identity transformation says, I am the kind of person to whom good things happen naturally. Positive thinking is external. Identity transformation is internal. Positive thinking requires constant maintenance. Identity transformation becomes self-sustaining. When you truly embody your desired identity, you don't have to remember to act differently. You naturally act differently because you have become different. The successful entrepreneur doesn't have to force themselves to network. Networking becomes a natural expression of who they are. The healthy person doesn't have to force themselves to make good choices. Good choices become automatic because they align with their identity. The leader doesn't have to force themselves to take responsibility. Taking responsibility becomes inevitable because that's who they are. Second, honor the daily process without fail. Prioritize consistent effort over instant results, understanding that small daily gains compound into profound change, much like water eroding rock over time. Persistence in the mundane builds the resilience needed when enthusiasm wanes, turning habits into undeniable evidence of your commitment. The world celebrates the moment of breakthrough, But breakthroughs are not events. Breakthroughs are processes. Every breakthrough is preceded by countless moments of showing up when you didn't feel like it. Every breakthrough is preceded by countless moments of choosing growth over comfort. Every breakthrough is preceded by countless moments of faith over evidence. The master understands what the amateur doesn't. The master understands that excellence is not an act, but a habit. The master understands that consistency is not about perfection, but about persistence. The master understands that progress is not about giant leaps, but about small steps in the right direction. When motivation is high, anyone can take action. When conditions are perfect, anyone can perform. When support is abundant, anyone can persist. But the person who shows up when motivation is low, when conditions are challenging, when support is scarce, this is the person who develops unshakable character. This is the person who earns the right to live their dreams. This is the person who transforms from ordinary to extraordinary. This is the person who becomes unstoppable. Third, ground yourself in enduring values. Live by principles that transcend fleeting feelings, such as integrity and resilience, to foster inner calm in turbulent times. This foundation empowers decisions that reflect your authentic self, guiding you toward a purposeful existence. Values are not suggestions. Values are not guidelines. Values are the non-negotiable principles that define who you are at your core. When you compromise your values for convenience, you compromise your soul. When you bend your principles for approval, you bend your character. When you sacrifice your integrity for advantage, you sacrifice your self-respect. But when you stand firm in your values, regardless of external pressure, you develop an inner strength that no one can take from you. When you choose courage over comfort consistently, courage becomes your default response to challenge. When you choose kindness over cruelty repeatedly, kindness becomes the essence of your character. When you choose growth over stagnation persistently, growth becomes your natural state of being. Values-based living is not always easy, but it is always empowering. Values-based living is not always popular, but it is always authentic. Values-based living is not always comfortable, but it is always aligned with your highest self. We will wait no longer. We shatter self-doubt's barriers, allowing our inner strength to bloom and failures to teach us wisdom. We will wait no longer. We act decisively, recreating our destinies and flowing like a mighty river toward horizons of hope and prosperity. We will wait no longer. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready, not when others believe in you. This is your moment to choose faith over fear. This is your moment to choose action over analysis. This is your moment to choose courage over comfort. This is your moment to choose your dreams over your doubts. The universe is waiting for your decision. Your future self is waiting for your commitment. Your dreams are waiting for your action. How much longer will you make them wait? Begin now by mastering your morning routine. Pause before distractions arise to connect with your inner self, defining the day's direction with focused intention. The quality of your morning determines the quality of your day. The consistency of your morning routine determines the consistency of your progress. The intentionality of your morning practice determines the intentionality of your entire life. This is not about waking up at 5 in the morning. This is not about following someone else's perfect routine. This is about creating sacred space for yourself before the world demands your attention. Whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes, whether it's meditation or movement, whether it's journaling or quiet reflection, the key is consistency and intention. In those precious morning moments, you have the opportunity to remember who you are beneath all the roles you play. You are not just an employee. You're not just a parent. You're not just a spouse. You're not just a student. You are a unique expression of infinite potential. You are a conscious creator of your reality. You are a being capable of extraordinary transformation. Connect with this truth each morning, and you'll approach your day from a place of power rather than reaction. Affirm your desired identity each day. Replace tentative statements with firm declarations like, I am a writer who creates daily, harnessing words to mold your reality. Your words are not just communication tools. Your words are creation tools. Every word you speak to yourself either builds you up or tears you down. Every phrase you repeat either moves you closer to your dreams or further away. Every declaration you make either strengthens your identity or weakens it. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, declare I am successful, and my success grows daily. Instead of saying, I hope to be happy, declare I am happy, and I create joy wherever I go. Instead of saying I'm trying to be confident, declare I am confident and my confidence inspires others. The shift from wanting to being, from hoping to knowing, from trying to embodying, changes everything. It changes your energy, it changes your actions, it changes your results, it changes your life. Fulfill personal promises consistently. Track nightly whether you honored minor vows, from avoiding mindless scrolling to brief learning, strengthening self-trust through action. Self-discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. Self-discipline is about keeping promises to yourself consistently. When you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind. You're saying that your word matters. You're saying that you can be trusted. You're saying that you are capable of change. But when you make a promise to yourself and break it, you're sending the opposite message. You're saying that your word is meaningless. You're saying that you cannot be trusted. You're saying that change is impossible for you. Every kept promise builds confidence. Every broken promise erodes it. The person who consistently keeps small promises to themselves develops the character to keep big promises. The person who consistently breaks small promises to themselves lacks the character to achieve anything significant. Start small. Make promises you can keep. Build the muscle of integrity gradually. Promise to drink 1 extra glass of water daily and keep it. Promise to read 1 page before bed and keep it. Promise to take 5 deep breaths when stressed and keep it. These small victories compound into unshakable self-trust. This self-trust becomes the foundation for achieving any goal you set. Align life with fundamental values. Articulate key beliefs like honesty and perseverance, letting them steer choices and preserve focus amid external noise. In a world that profits from your confusion, clarity becomes revolutionary. In a world that profits from your distraction, focus becomes powerful. In a world that profits from your conformity, authenticity becomes transformational. Your values are your protection against manipulation. Your values are your guide through complexity. Your values are your strength in adversity. When you know what you stand for, you know what you'll fall for. When you know what matters to you, you know what doesn't matter to you. When you know your non-negotiables, you know where you can be flexible. This clarity eliminates decision fatigue. This clarity eliminates regret. This clarity eliminates the exhaustion that comes from living without direction. Define your values clearly. Write them down. Review them regularly. Live them consistently. This is not just a nice exercise. This is the blueprint for a life of integrity and impact. Conduct evening reflections thoughtfully. Assess what went well, where improvements lie, and plan subtle shifts, making growth measurable and deliberate. The unexamined life is not worth living, not because life without reflection is meaningless, but because life without reflection is unconscious. Most people sleepwalk through their days, repeating the same patterns, making the same mistakes, wondering why nothing changes. But you are not most people. You understand that awareness is the first step to transformation. You understand that what gets measured gets improved. You understand that conscious reflection is the bridge between experience and wisdom. Each evening, ask yourself powerful questions. What did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? What did I do today that moved me away from my goals? What did I learn about myself today? What patterns am I noticing in my behavior? What adjustments can I make tomorrow? This is not about judgment. This is about awareness. This is not about perfection. This is about progress. This is not about criticism. This is about compassion combined with commitment to growth. The person who reflects grows faster than the person who doesn't. The person who learns from their mistakes makes fewer mistakes. The person who celebrates their progress builds more confidence. Dear companions, amid urban shadows at daybreak, we frequently drift in the haze of sleep and awareness, our brilliant futures slipping away unnoticed. Countless individuals cling to the phantom of eventual perfection, repeating excuses that chain them to average lives. Failure stems less from talent shortages than from impatience, as we distract ourselves and forfeit the steady cultivation required for excellence. Self-blame and external accusations create illusions of agency, but fuel endless discontent, hindering authentic advancement. But what if the very struggle you're experiencing is preparing you for the breakthrough you've been seeking? What if the resistance you feel is actually your old self making way for your new self? What if every setback has been setting you up for the greatest comeback of your life? The diamond doesn't complain about the pressure that forms it. The oak tree doesn't resist the storms that strengthen its roots. The gold doesn't question the fire that purifies it. You are being forged into something magnificent. Trust the process. Embrace the pressure. Welcome the refinement. Envision becoming the architect who designs your life's majestic structure, using a precise vision as your unwavering guide to purpose. This vision is not a luxury. This vision is a necessity. Without vision, you drift aimlessly through life, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them, following other people's dreams instead of pursuing your own, settling for what life gives you instead of demanding what you deserve. But with vision, everything changes. With vision, you become unstoppable. With vision, you transform from victim to victor. With vision, you evolve from follower to leader. Your vision must be so clear that you can see it with your eyes closed. Your vision must be so compelling that it pulls you forward even when obstacles appear. Your vision must be so personal that no one else's opinion can shake your commitment to it. This is not about visualizing material possessions. This is about envisioning the person you're becoming. This is not about fantasizing about outcomes. This is about clarifying your purpose. This is not about dreaming without action. This is about creating a compelling future that demands your transformation. First, proclaim your true identity immediately. Act as the person you envision, with complete congruence between mindset, speech, and behavior. Similar to an athlete who owns their role pre-victory, this declaration propels you forward, accumulating votes for your evolving self. Identity is not what you do. Identity is who you are. You can do the actions of a successful person without being successful. You can go through the motions of a healthy person without being healthy. You can mimic the behaviors of a confident person without being confident. But when identity shifts, everything shifts. When you become a successful person, success becomes inevitable. When you become a healthy person, healthy choices become natural. When you become a confident person, confidence becomes your default state. The shift from doing to being is the most powerful transformation you can make. It eliminates the need for willpower. It eliminates the struggle of forcing yourself to change. It eliminates the exhaustion of trying to be someone you're not. When you embody your desired identity, the actions flow naturally from who you are. The habits form automatically because they align with your self-concept. The results follow inevitably because they match your inner reality. This is not pretending. This is remembering. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Second, dedicate to the relentless daily grind. Value ongoing practice above sporadic triumphs, recognizing that incremental progress accumulates exponentially, akin to a stream forging canyons. Enduring through tedium cultivates the discipline that sustains you beyond initial sparks, manifesting pride in persistent effort. The world worships the highlight reel, but ignores the behind-the-scenes preparation. The world celebrates the moment of victory, but ignores the years of training. The world admires the finished product, but ignores the countless iterations and failures. But you understand what others miss. You understand that greatness is not an event, but a process. You understand that mastery is not a destination, but a journey. You understand that success is not an accident, but the inevitable result of consistent daily actions. The amateur practices until they get it right. The professional practices until they can't get it wrong. The amateur quits when motivation fades. The professional shows up especially when motivation fades. The amateur seeks comfort and ease. The professional seeks growth and challenge. The amateur makes excuses when things get difficult. The professional finds solutions when things get difficult. Which one are you choosing to be today? The daily grind is not punishment. The daily grind is privilege. It's the privilege of becoming the person you've always wanted to be. It's the privilege of developing skills that serve you for a lifetime. It's the privilege of building character that no one can take away from you. Embrace the grind. Love the process. Trust the journey. Third, establish life upon solid values. Adhere to timeless ideals over emotional whims, like empathy and determination, to achieve serenity in disorder. Such principles serve as your directional tool, infusing actions with genuineness and steering toward fulfillment. Values are the operating system of your life. They determine how you process information. They determine how you make decisions. They determine how you respond to challenges. They determine how you treat other people. They determine who you become. Without clear values, you're at the mercy of circumstances. With clear values, you're the master of your destiny. Without clear values, you're reactive. With clear values, you're proactive. Without clear values, you're inconsistent. With clear values, you're predictable in the best sense. The person who lives by values experiences inner peace, even in chaos. The person who lives by values makes decisions quickly and confidently. The person who lives by values attracts people who share similar principles. The person who lives by values builds a reputation of integrity and trustworthiness. What do you stand for? What principles guide your decisions? What would you rather lose everything than compromise? These are not philosophical questions. These are practical questions that determine the quality of your life. Answer them clearly, write them down, live them consistently. We will wait no longer. We liberate our spirits from procrastination's grip, igniting potential and viewing setbacks as stepping stones. We will wait no longer. We forge ahead with resolve, shaping histories of dignity and leaving enduring marks on the world. We will wait no longer. This declaration is not just about you. This declaration is about everyone whose life you will touch. This declaration is about the example you will set. This declaration is about the legacy you will leave. When you transform your life, you give others permission to transform theirs. When you break free from limitation, you show others that limitation is not permanent. When you choose courage over comfort, you inspire others to make the same choice. Your transformation ripples outward, touching lives you may never know, inspiring changes you may never see, creating possibilities that extend far beyond your lifetime. This is bigger than personal development. This is about contributing to the evolution of human consciousness. This is about adding your unique note to the symphony of existence. This is about fulfilling your sacred responsibility to become who you were meant to be. Initiate change by owning your mornings. Dedicate initial moments to introspection, crafting a purposeful agenda that sets a proactive tone. The morning is sacred time. It's the time when your mind is clearest. It's the time when your willpower is strongest. It's the time when you have the greatest opportunity to set the trajectory for your entire day. How you start your morning is how you start your life. If you start your morning in reaction mode, checking emails, scrolling social media, rushing through tasks, you train yourself to live in reaction mode. But if you start your morning in creation mode, setting intentions, connecting with your vision, aligning with your values, you train yourself to live in creation mode. The difference is profound. Reactive people feel like victims of their circumstances. Creative people feel like architects of their destiny. Reactive people wonder why things happen to them. Creative people make things happen for them. Reactive people feel overwhelmed by their to-do list. Creative people feel empowered by their purpose. This shift begins in the morning. This shift begins with how you choose to start each day. This shift begins with the decision to take control of your first thoughts, your first feelings, your first actions. Create a morning routine that honors your highest self. Create a morning routine that connects you with your purpose. Create a morning routine that energizes you for the day ahead. This is not about following someone else's perfect routine. This is about designing a routine that works for your life, your schedule, your goals, your values. The key is consistency, not perfection. The key is intention, not duration. The key is connection, not complexity. Embrace your target identity through daily affirmations. Transform aspirations into present truths, stating, I am disciplined in my pursuits, allowing self-talk to reinforce behaviors. Your internal dialogue shapes your external reality. Your self-talk creates your self-image. Your mental conversations determine your life conversations. Most people are unconscious of their internal dialogue. They let random thoughts bounce around their minds. They allow negative programming from the past to run their present. They permit doubt and fear to narrate their future. But conscious people take control of their internal dialogue. They choose thoughts that serve their vision. They select words that strengthen their identity. They craft affirmations that align with their goals. This is not about lying to yourself. This is about speaking truth into existence. This is not about denying reality. This is about creating a new reality. The person you are becoming already exists within you. Your affirmations help you access that person. Your declarations help you embody that person. Your self-talk helps you become that person. Instead of, I hope I can, declare I know I will. Instead of, I'm trying to, declare I am committed to. Instead of, I want to be, declare I am becoming. Instead of, I'll try, declare I will. The shift in language creates a shift in energy. The shift in energy creates a shift in action. The shift in action creates a shift in results. The shift in results creates a shift in life. Uphold commitments to self without exception. Evening audits of daily pledges, such as short meditations or skill practices, fortify inner reliability. Self-trust is the foundation of all confidence. Self-trust is the basis of all achievement. Self-trust is the source of all personal power. But self-trust is not built through big promises. Self-trust is built through small commitments kept consistently. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're making a deposit in your confidence account. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're making a withdrawal from your confidence account. The person with a high confidence balance believes they can achieve anything. The person with a low confidence balance doubts they can achieve anything. Which account balance do you want to have? Start with commitments you can easily keep. Commit to drinking 1 extra glass of water daily. Commit to reading 1 page before bed. Commit to taking 10 deep breaths when stressed. Commit to writing 3 things you're grateful for each morning. These seem small, but they're not. They're the building blocks of an unshakable character. They're the foundation of unwavering self-trust. They're the beginning of unlimited confidence. As you build a habit of keeping small promises, you develop the character to keep bigger promises. As you prove to yourself that you can be trusted with little, you earn the right to be trusted with much. As you demonstrate reliability in private, you develop credibility in public. Center existence around chosen values. Identify essentials like authenticity and generosity, employing them to filter decisions and maintain equilibrium. Values aren't just nice ideas. Values are practical tools for living. When you're clear on your values, decision-making becomes simple. Does this opportunity align with my values? If yes, consider it. If no, decline it. Does this relationship honor my values? If yes, invest in it. If no, distance yourself from it. Does this action reflect my values? If yes, take it. If no, choose differently. Values eliminate confusion. Values eliminate overwhelm. Values eliminate the paralysis of too many choices. But values only work if you're willing to live by them consistently. Values only matter if you're willing to sacrifice for them. Values only have power if you're willing to stand for them even when it's difficult. The person who compromises their values for convenience compromises their character. The person who abandons their principles for profit abandons their integrity. The person who violates their standards for approval violates their self-respect. But the person who lives by their values, regardless of external pressure, develops an inner strength that nothing can shake. This is the difference between people who feel confident and people who feel insecure. This is the difference between people who feel peaceful and people who feel anxious. This is the difference between people who feel fulfilled and people who feel empty. Live by your values. Stand for your principles. Honor your standards. This is the path to authentic power. Perform nightly reviews with candor. Highlight achievements, analyze missteps, and outline refinements, fostering continuous incremental evolution. The unexamined day is a wasted day, not because anything terrible happens, but because the lessons remain unlearned, the patterns remain unnoticed, the growth remains unrealized. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom. Reflection transforms mistakes into education. Reflection transforms ordinary days into extraordinary learning opportunities. But reflection must be honest to be helpful. It must be objective to be valuable. It must be specific to be actionable. This is not about harsh self-judgment. This is about compassionate self-awareness. This is not about perfectionist criticism. This is about constructive evaluation. This is not about dwelling on mistakes. This is about learning from them and moving forward. Ask yourself powerful questions each evening. What did I do well today? Celebrate it. Build confidence through acknowledgement of progress. What could I have done better? Learn from it. Extract specific lessons for improvement. What patterns am I noticing in my behavior? Become aware of them. Patterns are either serving you or sabotaging you. What adjustments will I make tomorrow? Commit to them. Turn insight into action. How did I honor my values today? Reinforce them. Values only matter when they're lived. How did I move closer to my vision today? Acknowledge it. Progress is often invisible until you look for it. This simple practice compounds over time. Each day you reflect, you grow a little wiser. Each day you reflect, you become a little more conscious. Each day you reflect, you evolve a little more intentionally. The person who reflects daily grows exponentially faster than the person who never reflects. The person who learns from every experience becomes unstoppable. The person who continuously evolves becomes unlimited. Beloved allies, in the veiled early light of a dimmed metropolis, we too often stray in the limbo of fantasy and fact, our innate brilliance waning unseen. A multitude delay their greatness with notions of future readiness, self-sabotaging through complacency and evasion. Our downfalls arise not from inherent flaws, but from premature surrender, prioritizing superficial acclaim over deep nurturing. Pointing fingers outward or inward grants temporary solace, but perpetuates stagnation, veiling the path to real empowerment. But perhaps this very moment of awakening is the gift you've been waiting for your entire life. Perhaps the dissatisfaction you feel is not a curse, but a calling. Perhaps the restlessness in your soul is not a problem, but a promise of what's possible. The seed doesn't apologize for breaking through the soil. The butterfly doesn't regret leaving the cocoon. The phoenix doesn't mourn the ashes from which it rises. You are not meant to remain where you are. You are meant to evolve. You are meant to grow. You are meant to transform. You are meant to become. Conceive of yourself as the skilled designer of your personal edifice, armed with a detailed plan that orients every step toward destiny. This is not about perfection. This is about direction. This is not about having all the answers. This is about asking the right questions. This is not about controlling every outcome. This is about influencing every action. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control what happens through you. You cannot control external circumstances, but you can control internal responses. You cannot control other people's choices, but you can control your own choices. This control is not a burden. This control is a gift. This control is your power. This control is your freedom. The moment you accept full responsibility for your life is the moment your life begins to change. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you start making progress. The moment you cease being a victim is the moment you become a victor. First, assert your identity with conviction. Inhabit the role fully, harmonizing internal dialogue and external conduct. Echoing the competitor who affirms victory in advance, this mindset shifts paradigms, with each choice affirming your transformation. Identity is the most powerful force in human psychology. Once you believe something about yourself, you will act consistently with that belief. If you believe you are undisciplined, you will find ways to prove yourself right. If you believe you are capable, you will find ways to demonstrate that capability. If you believe you are worthy of success, you will take actions that lead to success. If you believe you are destined for mediocrity, you will settle for mediocrity. Your beliefs about yourself become self-fulfilling prophecies. Your identity becomes your destiny. This is why changing identity is more powerful than changing behavior. Behavior change is external and temporary. Identity change is internal and permanent. When you change who you are, what you do changes automatically. When you change how you see yourself, how others see you changes too. When you change your self-concept, your entire life concept changes. Stop trying to act like the person you want to become. Start being the person you want to become. The difference is profound. Acting is temporary. Being is permanent. Acting requires effort. Being is effortless. Acting can be faked. Being cannot be faked. Second, revere the everyday regimen. Opt for habitual diligence rather than isolated peaks, as compounded minor enhancements yield vast outcomes, reminiscent of nature's patient sculpting. This steadfastness becomes your anchor when drive diminishes, evidencing character through repeated dedication. The magic is not in the moment. The magic is in the monotony. The magic is not in the breakthrough. The magic is in the daily grind that creates the breakthrough. The magic is not in the highlight reel. The magic is in the thousands of hours of preparation that nobody sees. Excellence is not an accident. Mastery is not a gift. Success is not luck. Excellence is the result of daily commitment to getting a little better. Mastery is the result of persistent practice even when progress seems invisible. Success is the result of consistent action even when results are delayed. The professional athlete doesn't become great on game day. They become great in the off-season, in the early morning workouts, in the repetitive drills, in the moments when no one is watching. The successful entrepreneur doesn't become successful when they make their first million. They become successful in the daily habits of discipline, in the consistent choices to delay gratification, in the relentless focus on serving customers better. The accomplished artist doesn't become accomplished when they win their first award. They become accomplished in the daily practice of their craft, in the persistence through creative blocks, in the commitment to improvement over approval. What daily habits are you building? What consistent actions are you taking? What repetitive practices are you committing to? These are the questions that determine your future. These are the behaviors that shape your destiny. These are the choices that create your character. Third, root your journey in principled foundations. Surpass transient sentiments with steadfast convictions, including justice and fortitude, to sustain composure in turmoil. These tenets function as your navigational aid, endowing endeavors with sincerity and direction. Principles are not preferences. Principles are not suggestions. Principles are the immutable laws that govern character. When you live by principles, you develop predictable strength. When you live by feelings, you develop unpredictable weakness. Feelings are temporary. Principles are eternal. Feelings change with circumstances. Principles remain constant despite circumstances. Feelings are influenced by external conditions. Principles are anchored in internal convictions. The person who lives by principles can be trusted. The person who lives by feelings cannot be predicted. The person who lives by principles develops integrity. The person who lives by feelings develops inconsistency. The person who lives by principles earns respect. The person who lives by feelings earns confusion. What principles guide your life? What convictions anchor your soul? What beliefs define your character? If you cannot answer these questions clearly, you are living at the mercy of circumstance. If you can answer these questions definitively, you are living as the master of your destiny. Define your principles, write them down, commit to them, live by them. This is the foundation of an unshakable life. We will wait no longer. We dismantle doubt's fortifications, unleashing capabilities and embracing lessons from every trial. We will wait no longer. We advance boldly, convergent efforts into transformative forces that inspire generations. We will wait no longer. This is your declaration of independence from limitation. This is your emancipation proclamation from mediocrity. This is your battle cry against conformity. This is your anthem of transformation. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were not born to follow. You were born to lead. You were not born to settle. You were born to soar. You were not born to survive. You were born to thrive. The time for small thinking has ended. The season of playing it safe has concluded. The era of hiding your light has expired. It's time to think bigger. It's time to risk more. It's time to shine brighter. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs your unique gifts. The world needs your distinctive perspective. The world needs your authentic contribution. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for guarantee of success. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Start creating. Start contributing. Start becoming. Start now. Commence by directing your dawn hours. Engage in brief solitude to query your aspirations, establishing intent that commands the day's flow. Your morning routine is your launching pad. Your morning ritual is your foundation. Your morning practice is your power source. How you begin determines how you proceed. How you start determines how you finish. How you awaken determines how you live. This is not about following someone else's perfect morning routine. This is about creating your own sacred practice. This is not about waking up at an unreasonable hour. This is about using whatever time you have intentionally. This is not about complicated rituals. This is about simple, meaningful practices. The key is consciousness. The key is intention. The key is consistency. What do you want to create today? How do you want to feel today? Who do you want to be today? What impact do you want to have today? These questions, asked in the quiet of morning, set the trajectory for your entire day. They shift you from reactive to proactive. They move you from scattered to focused. They transform you from victim to creator. Honor this sacred time. Protect this precious space. Invest in this powerful practice. Your future self will thank you. Proclaim your aspired self routinely. Evolve language from effort to essence, declaring I am resilient in adversity, molding perceptions into actions. The words you speak to yourself become the reality you live. The thoughts you think repeatedly become the beliefs you hold. The beliefs you hold consistently become the actions you take. The actions you take regularly become the results you achieve. This is the chain of transformation. This is the sequence of success. This is the process of becoming. It begins with the words you choose. It begins with the thoughts you think. It begins with the beliefs you embrace. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to a friend. Most people think thoughts about themselves that are more critical and compassionate. Most people hold beliefs about their potential that are more limiting than liberating. But you are not most people. You understand the power of intentional self-talk. You recognize the importance of empowering internal dialogue. You appreciate the necessity of supportive self-communication. Choose words that build you up, not tear you down. Choose thoughts that expand your possibilities, not contract them. Choose beliefs that empower your potential, not limit it. This is not about positive thinking. This is about powerful thinking. This is not about ignoring reality. This is about creating reality. This is not about delusion. This is about vision. Speak to yourself as the person you are becoming. Think about yourself as the person you are growing into. Believe in yourself as the person you are destined to be. Maintain fidelity to self-made vows, nightly evaluations of modest goals like hydration or gratitude notes. Erect pillars of self-esteem. Self-respect is not given. Self-respect is earned. Self-trust is not inherited. Self-trust is built. Self-confidence is not a gift. Self-confidence is developed. And all of these essential qualities are developed through the same mechanism: keeping promises to yourself, following through on commitments to yourself, honoring agreements with yourself. Every kept promise builds character. Every honored commitment strengthens integrity. Every fulfilled agreement increases self-respect. But every broken promise weakens character. Every abandoned commitment undermines integrity. Every violated agreement decreases self-respect. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. If you cannot trust yourself, how can you expect others to trust you? If you do not respect yourself, how can you expect others to respect you? If you do not believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? Start small. Start simple. Start today. Promise yourself 1 glass of water and drink it. Promise yourself 10 minutes of reading and do it. Promise yourself 5 minutes of gratitude and practice it. These small victories create momentum. This momentum builds confidence. This confidence creates bigger victories. This confidence enables bigger promises. These bigger promises create bigger character. This bigger character creates a bigger life. Orient by intrinsic values daily. Delineate priorities, such as innovation and kindness, utilizing them to discern paths and preserve harmony. Values are your internal GPS. They guide you when the path is unclear. They direct you when choices are difficult. They orient you when circumstances are confusing. Without values, you drift. With values, you navigate. Without values, you react. With values, you respond. Without values, you compromise. With values, you stand firm. The person who lives by values experiences inner peace. The person who lives by values makes decisions with confidence. The person who lives by values attracts people of similar character. The person who lives by values builds a reputation of integrity. But values are not just concepts. Values are not just ideals. Values are not just aspirations. Values are lived. Values are demonstrated. Values are embodied. If you value honesty, you tell the truth even when it's difficult. If you value courage, you take action even when you're afraid. If you value compassion, you show kindness even to those who hurt you. If you value growth, you welcome challenges even when they're uncomfortable. If you value excellence, you do your best work even when no one is watching. What do you value? How are you living those values? Where are you compromising those values? What changes do you need to make to align more fully with your values? These questions matter. These questions shape your character. These questions determine your destiny. Answer them honestly. Live them consistently. Honor them completely. Undertake evening contemplations sincerely. Document positives, deficiencies, and strategies, rendering improvement systematic and empowering. The day you don't reflect is the day you don't grow. The experience you don't examine is the lesson you don't learn. The pattern you don't notice is the behavior you don't change. Reflection is the bridge between experience and wisdom. Reflection is the connection between action and learning. Reflection is the link between today and tomorrow. Most people live unconsciously. They repeat the same patterns without awareness. They make the same mistakes without learning. They miss the same opportunities without noticing. But conscious people live differently. They examine their experiences. They extract lessons from their actions. They identify patterns in their behavior. They make intentional adjustments for improvement. This is what separates those who grow from those who stagnate. This is what distinguishes those who evolve from those who remain static. This is what differentiates those who succeed from those who struggle. Each evening, create space for reflection. Ask yourself powerful questions. Give yourself honest answers. Make specific commitments for tomorrow. What went well today? Celebrate it. What didn't go well today? Learn from it. What patterns am I noticing? Become aware of them. What will I do differently tomorrow? Commit to it. This simple practice compounds over time. Each day of reflection makes you a little wiser. Each evening of examination makes you a little more conscious. Each night of contemplation makes you a little more intentional. The person who reflects daily grows exponentially. The person who examines regularly evolves continuously. The person who contemplates consistently becomes unstoppable. Cherished associates, in the obscured sunrise of an eclipsed town, we commonly meander in the twilight of illusion and truth, our luminous prospects evaporating. Innumerable souls postpone elevation by embracing postponed ideals, ensnared in cycles of hesitation and rationalization. Defeats emerge not from capability deficits, but from hasty retreats, favoring diversions over sustained development. Accusatory habits toward self or surroundings simulate mastery, yet intensify dissatisfaction, obstructing genuine liberation. But know this, your time of wandering is ending. Your season of hesitation is concluding. Your era of postponement is finishing. You stand at the threshold of your transformation. You stand at the doorway of your destiny. You stand at the gateway of your greatness. The only question that remains is this: will you step through? Will you leave behind the comfort of the familiar for the excitement of the possible? Will you trade the security of the known for the adventure of the unknown? Will you exchange the safety of staying the same for the thrill of becoming more? This is your moment. This is your choice. This is your opportunity. The future you've dreamed of is waiting on the other side of this decision. The life you've imagined is available beyond this threshold. The person you're meant to become is calling from tomorrow. What will you choose? Who will you become? When will you begin? The answer to all these questions is the same now, today, this moment. Your transformation begins with a single decision. Your journey starts with a single step. Your destiny unfolds with a single choice. Make that choice. Take that step. Begin that journey. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. Your future self is counting on the decision you make today. Your legacy depends on the action you take right now. We will wait no longer. You will wait no longer. The time is now.